So today I want to talk about a lady street legend, Odessa Madre. What's up everybody, it's your girl B Octavia and I am back with another video. Welcome to my channel. This month has been a doozy, okay? And let me say, it ain't like I forgot that it was Black History Month, but I did forget, like, content wise, so I do apologize for that, and I'm definitely gonna make up for that next year. But let me just say this about this month. It has been a lot of distractions this month. I will be calling several people out for their outlandish behavior in the month of March. You know what I'm saying? But I want to end this month off right. So today I want to talk about a lady street legend. And this will be my video for Black History Month. I will be talking about the life, the legacy, the street legacy of Lady Al Capone of Washington, D.C., aka Odessa Madre. We talk about street legends from time to time on this channel, and it is a male-dominated field, you know what I'm saying, whether it be the drug trade, bootlegging, or what have you. Men's names tend to come up more than women's, but I do appreciate the person that suggested that I research and talk about Miss Odessa. So today we are going to shake it up. We are going to talk about the life, street legacy, and unfortunate demise of Lady Al Capone of Washington, D.C. So Mrs. Odessa was one of the biggest hustlers of Washington, D.C. Her prime was the 1930s and 40s. She was born in 1907, the only child of a seamstress who always kept her little girl dressed nicely. Her father owned his own barbershop, and next to his barbershop was a pool hall that the family owned too. Both properties, which was technically a strip of businesses, ended up being inherited by Odessa. This strip of business venture ended up blossoming under the authority and ownership of Odessa. It's safe to say that she came from a hard-working family that had business mindsets that helped Odessa grow as a businesswoman. Her mother and father made a nice life for Odessa. In return, her academics soared. She graduated from Dunbar High School with honors in 1925. However, once Odessa was freshly out of high school, she had bigger and, in her eyes, better dreams business-wise of making a better life, a more fruitful life, even though her family provided and never left her without anything that she needed. In the 1920s, problems ranged from immigration, slavery, gender politics, the Great Depression starting August of 1929, and one of the hugest problems of the 1920s was alcohol and prohibition. Prohibition was a nationwide constitutional ban on the production, importation, transportation, and sale of alcohol and alcoholic beverages. This ban lasted from January 17th, 1920 to December 5th, 1933. As a result of this ban, people nationwide, including Odessa, began opening juke joints that served liquor. Juke joints were also called speakeasies, a blind pig, or blind tiger. These places were always low-key, low-lit, not very roomy as far as space, but all that were invited made it a good time. Prohibition technically lasted until 1933, but in some states it lasted longer. And I feel like it lasted longer in Washington, D.C. So, as I stated before, Ms. Odessa graduated from Dunbar High School in 1925 with honors. Her excellence in math ended up helping her tremendously in the illegal alcohol business. She started off by buying two 5-gallon tins of whiskey a day, selling the whiskey at 25 cents a shot, and within a matter of weeks, she went from buying two 5-gallon tins of whiskey to 4 5-gallon tins of whiskey. In the early 1930s is when her empire flourished. She had cops on her payroll. All the big shots wanted to do business with her, and even the big shots wanted to be around her because she was well protected, so that would make them well protected also. Within her operation, she had around 6 body houses, and if y'all can't really get the gist of what a body house is by me just saying that, you know, I feel like it stems along the lines of prostitution. What can I call it? You know, that's a whorehouse or things like that. Like, I don't even know how to put it other than that. But nothing glamorous, but she made her money, women made their money as well, streetwise. So these body houses were scattered in Northeast and Northwest. She employed around 20 women and at one time, opened 2 gin joints in Shaw, and also rented a room for a large bookmaking operation, meaning loan sharking, betting, things like that. I don't know if they was doing horses back then and things, I don't know. But that's just one of my guesses, okay? So her headquarters and main stomping grounds were 2204 14th Street Northwest, aka the Club Madre. This was the club that offered liquor by the shot, numbers by the book, and girls by the hour. And shout out to the article that I read that said that line. That line is actually iconic. No, I'm not glorifying people, you know what I'm saying, buying illegal alcohol that probably was gonna make you sick or whatever, right? I'm not glorifying prostitution at all. I feel like people try to glorify it to me enough, you know, and that's something that I know from Washington, D.C. Like, a lot of people not gonna say where they really got it from, you know, of, oh, I'm prostituting now. Some people don't even think about who influenced them, and sometimes it's the ones that's closest to you. It could be a aunt, you know, a favorite auntie of yours, your mother, what have you, a boyfriend, whoever, but it is highly influenced and highly suggested in Washington, D.C. for young women. Sad to say, but that's true. And I'm not glorifying nothing, you know what I'm saying? But that's an iconic line right there. You can't even lie. So, in her prime, Ms. Odessa was raking in more than $100,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? And from my estimation and from my research, $100,000 in 1920, 1930 would estimate around $1.6 million today. So if she was making that much a year or even a decade, today Ms. Odessa and her family would be very well off, safe to say. And just imagine how many people from Jack Daniels, you know what I'm saying, ancestors and things like that, was actually bootleggers and sellers of whiskey under the table and things, and look at what they built, you know. So it's something to think about. So this was the gist of how Miss Odessa moved. She never really left the area of Washington, D.C., never really branched out farther than that. Moving strategically, remaining within the protection of the police that she paid. And she also grew up with some of them, so that helped her as well. Whenever Odessa left her house, she was with bodyguards. And out of all the people that was probably getting raided in Washington, D.C., Odessa's gin joints, jail joints, speakeasies, things like that never got raided. Not even the whorehouses. So, even though her background of having hardworking parents that ran legal businesses, an MPD officer quoted in an article said Odessa was basically forced into the life of crime. Continuing to back up his statements, he refers to it being a lack of jobs and opportunities for black people during that time. What I have to say about that is, isn't that an excuse that we use in today's time as well? So what has changed about that, and what gives us, does that give us the rationalization, right, to live a life of crime? I think that having a lack of opportunities, it makes you want to make your own opportunities, yeah. But if it's opportunities to get you locked up down the line, is it really worth it in the beginning? I don't think so. I don't think anybody is forced into anything. All of us have a choice, you know? And I believe that as smart as Odessa was, both academically, mathematically, business-wise, due to who she grew up around and who she was raised by, I think that she had a better shot than most during that time. And I'm saying that as a compliment wholeheartedly. I believe that she could have been mentioned as one of the greats and not just a hustler. I could say the same about men in the same field and workforce as her, or the drug trade, etc. We all have a choice. These are the type of explanations or excuses that rationalize decisions that will leave us broken and alone in the slammer, or even worse, death becomes you and nobody sees the value in it, in your death or of you, because you didn't leave them anything.